Yeah, I know. In true content creator fashion, this is my second time recording this. That's great. We're off to a great start. So, here we go. You guys, look, I have never had a desire, truly, never had a desire to have a podcast. And here we are. You're probably actually just seeing this on YouTube right now. Because I actually have no idea how to actually like put podcasts like audio on Spotify or on Apple, whatever podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't actually know how to do that yet. But we'll get there. Okay. So this is where this idea stemmed from. I need to prioritize long form content. Okay. If that's one thing you can take away from this TikTok ban bullshit, okay, it's that don't put all of your eggs in one basket. And prioritize long form content. And maybe this was the wake up call that I needed. And that is, I want to keep this casual. Okay. That is why I'm here in a hoodie. Granted, yes, I know I have a full ass podcast mic. I am using my fancy Sony camera, because there's a level of quality that I still do want to have with this. However, I told myself I need to keep it casual, because if I don't, I'm not going to stay consistent with this, and I'm not going to put the content out. Okay. So if I show up here in a sweatshirt with no bra on a Sunday afternoon, then that's what we're doing. Okay. The other part of this is with prioritizing longer form content. It's going to help me truly like show my personality a bit more. For some reason, when it comes to short form content, I still to this day freeze up a little bit. I don't want to say freeze up, but I think I just overthink sometimes, like the way I'm coming across, and I worry about what I say and if it's going to be misinterpreted. And I don't want to offend people, but I also want to be honest and I want to be true to who I am. So I think with longer form content, I don't know, it feels safer for some reason to me. And I feel like, it allows me to show my personality a little bit more and like who I am. Like this, for some reason, this doesn't feel scary to me. Like having my camera set up and me talking into this microphone doesn't feel scary. Like I feel comfortable overall doing this. But when I take my phone and I prop this up, for some reason, I don't know if it's because of a smaller screen or because the feedback feels more immediate, that it feels a little scarier. I don't know. So here we are. We're doing long form content. What I told myself this year as far as a goal goes for like how many of these I want to do, minimum 12. Why 12? Okay, because 12 is one per month. And I know that I can find time once a month to sit down, film, and edit and get this out. Okay. So that's what I'm holding myself to. And if I do more than that, amazing. That's even better. So the first thing I want to talk about, is, well, okay, let's chat lightly about the TikTok ban. And I just want to give my perspective on it as someone who creates consistently on TikTok, and as someone who right now makes the majority of my income is from TikTok. That's why I am so aware of what's going on with this potential TikTok ban. So if you missed it, because today is Sunday, January 12th. If you missed it, the Supreme Court hearing, the Supreme Court oral arguments was this past Friday. That was the 10th. And I listened to the entire thing. There was, if you hear anyone say that they were watching, or if I ever say I was watching, it's because some people were live with it. Like the one that I actually watched, it was the same Supreme Court hearing, but a lawyer went live and she was sort of like explaining certain things throughout it, which for me, someone who has no law background, well, other than my like 1 month of studying for the LSAT when COVID started. Anyone else do that? Anyone else like have a stint where they were almost going to go to law school? That was me. Anyway, sidebar. So I was watching her live and she was just giving little like tidbits of information throughout it. But regardless, it was an audio not recording, but it was live, and anyone can listen to it. You can listen to like the replay if you're interested. It was only supposed to last 2 hours. It ended up lasting almost 3 hours. And the way it sort of, the what's the word I'm looking for? The organization of it was that the TikTok lawyer went first. His name, I believe, was Noel, or is Noel Francisco. And, you know, Supreme Court hammering him with questions. And at the beginning, I was like, oh boy, this does not sound good for us. Mind you, you guys, so much of this hearing, it's like, they just don't get it. You know, like the average age of the Supreme Court justices, I believe, is like 65. There's so much that they just don't get. Okay. Imagine trying to explain a lot of like TikTok and algorithms and things like that. Imagine trying to explain that to like your grandma or your grandpa. Like, there's just a level of understanding that they don't have. And it's unfortunate, because then it's like, how are you guys going to potentially allow a ban go through on a platform that you don't even understand? Anyways, another sidebar. So Noel Francisco goes first. That lasted for, sorry, my dog is barking if you heard that, Ollie. That lasted for almost an hour. That was only supposed to last 30 minutes. Then after Noel was the creator's lawyer. I honestly cannot think of his last name, but his name is Jeff. Jeff did a fantastic job. I thought that both of the lawyers, like representing like TikTok and the creators, the pro TikTok lawyers, I felt they were both incredible. And I thought that they did a great job, especially because they are being hammered with these questions by the Supreme Court that half of them don't even make sense because they don't even understand TikTok. But I felt they both did a great job, but I really felt like Jeff like knocked it out of the park. He was quick. He was clear. He was concise. He answered their questions. I was amazed by Jeff. So great job, Jeff. Then after Jeff was done, his did not last as long as the TikTok lawyer. Then it was Elizabeth. Sorry, don't know her last name. She is the Solicitor General, I believe is like her actual title. And she is the attorney that is representing the Congress, representing United States government that is wanting to ban TikTok in the first place. Okay. Now, I say this as someone who is obviously biased. I say this as someone who does not want TikTok to be banned. But Elizabeth, girl, no. I truly feel she did a terrible job. The Supreme Court justices also hammered her with questions. You guys, that's the point of the oral arguments. The Supreme Court justices are to be brutal, honestly, on both sides. It's good that they were brutal to her as well, because I was nervous. I was like, please don't let her off the hook. And I felt like they were asking good questions, and I didn't think that she helped them understand their viewpoint any better. Whereas I feel like the TikTok side did. I feel like TikTok side did actually clarify their questions, whereas I don't think she did. And I don't think that they were satisfied with a lot of her answers. And after that got done, oh, sorry, one more thing that I almost forgot. After she was done, after the pro-ban side was done, then the TikTok lawyer, Francisco, he got to rebuttal. Absolutely nailed the rebuttal. You guys, the rebuttal, like, gave me chills. He gave concrete examples, like in comparisons of other social media platforms, or not even just social media platforms, but just like other companies that, you know, when it comes to their concerns around data, he gave clear and specific examples of other companies that either take data in the same way or take even more data of our US data. And I felt that was really powerful. So anyways, after the rebuttal, then it was done. Okay. We don't have an answer yet. We may not even get an answer. That's what people don't understand. Once it was done, once the hearing was over, I was like, wow, I feel that went really well. And so did a lot of my peers that are creators that also listened in. They also felt like it went really well. And I was like, I think TikTok nailed it. I think we have a fighting chance here. Then you start to see the media and the news sources that are coming out. And you guys, the way that they are titling things saying, Supreme Court is leaning to uphold the ban, or Supreme Court seems likely to uphold the TikTok ban. I'm like, we literally don't know that. Nobody knows. The titles of their articles and of their social media posts are speculative. Nobody knows at this point. The thing with the Supreme Court justices, they also, what I've learned is they also can like make you seem that they're going to lean a certain way, and then they actually vote the opposite way. You know what I mean? Like at this point, no one knows. So if anyone is saying that the Supreme Court justices are going to uphold the ban or knock the ban down, whatever it is, no one knows at this point. Again, it's January 12th. Okay. The earliest what we may hear from them is tomorrow, on Monday, the 13th. And the latest we may hear is the day before the ban is set to be put in place. So that would be January 18th, 2025. And I have also learned that we may not hear anything. And if we don't hear anything, that means the ban is being upheld. That means TikTok is going away. That means so many creators and so many small business owners will experience essentially a layoff. That's really the way to compare it, is that a bunch of us could be losing our primary sources of income. And that's terrible. I think if you're advocating for that, I question your morals, honestly. I think that to wish badly and wish poorly on people is super weird behavior. The comments I've been seeing on social media from people like, yay, now these people have to get real jobs. I'm sorry. Content creation is a real job. If it's paying me real money that I can pay my rent with, that I can pay off debt with, that I can go to the store and buy groceries with, it's a real job. Thank you very much. The $20 I make doing content creation versus the $20 you make, I don't know, doing any other job a retail job, or even like more professional jobs, an office, a desk job, $20 is $20, babe. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. If you still don't believe that social media careers and content creation careers and what influencers do, I personally don't even classify myself really as an influencer. If you want to call me a micro influencer, okay. But what we do is real work. There is real value and there is real need for it. Otherwise, if there weren't, we wouldn't be making the money we're making. And I don't even make nearly as much as some of these large creators make, okay? Keep that in mind. So anyways, that's where we're at. We don't know what's happening with TikTok right now. That's another reason why I'm like, you know what? Let me get back into my long form content bag. You guys, I've had this YouTube channel since like, I don't know, maybe like 2014, 2015, like since I was in college. Like it's been 10 years. Okay. I go through spurts of being consistent on here. For me, YouTube is a lot of work. Not in like, and I'm not saying that it's difficult work. It's just way more time consuming to do the editing and I don't know. I like to produce high quality stuff. YouTube is more demanding for me and for a lot of people. If you ask other content creators out there, they would most likely agree with you, versus doing short form stuff just directly on my phone. I can just produce so much more and produce that content quickly, just on my phone. Right. And of course you could create YouTube content on your phone too. Don't get me wrong. You don't have to have the cameras and all the extra stuff. But regardless, I think that's why I have struggled with being consistent with YouTube, and I'm trying to become more consistent with it because it really is in my best interest as a creator. And yeah, for all the other reasons that I've already talked about. Okay. So let's get into the topic though of this video, of this first episode, whatever you want to call it, of this long form content. And that is the notion of outworking your ops. All right. If you follow me on Instagram, if you follow me on TikTok, you know, this has been a little kick I've been on this past week or so. And it's the idea of outworking your ops. Okay. Let me explain that to you. Let's think about that one person. Maybe you have a couple. Maybe think about that person in your life who is your op. If you don't know what an op is just short for opponent. Okay. It's your opponent. Think about that person in your life. And now imagine that person. What am I saying? Words. Imagine that person achieving all of the things that you hope and you wish for and have been working for in this life. Imagine your op achieving their fitness goals. Imagine your op achieving the career goals that you want to achieve. Imagine your op being successful in general, okay? Now, if your op is going to be successful, you need to be successful too. Your op can't be the only one. Okay, that's where I'm coming from with this. When I say that my op has gotten me out of bed this past week, I'm not joking. I have not pressed snooze because I'm like, well, my op did not press snooze this morning and my op got out of bed right away. I have gone to the gym because I said in my head, my op got their workout done this week. I have hit my step goal because I'm like, well, my op is getting their steps in today. I meal prepped today because I thought about my op doing their meal prep so that they can hit their nutrition goals this week. I am re-recording this episode right now because I already recorded it once and my audio was messed up. My audio recorded, but it didn't record through my mic. Okay. So it sounded terrible. And I did not want to redo this because I'm supposed to go hang out with my mom today. We're supposed to just have like a little day together. I'm going to like bring Ollie over there to like play with her dog, Benny. And I just want to go. But I imagined myself as my op and I was like, okay, if this happened to my op would press record again and get it done. Okay. That's where I'm at. That is what has provided me with a lethal dose of motivation this past week. You guys, let me also say this. Motivation is fleeting. All right. Motivation is one of those things that you'll have those days where you're like, damn, I'm feeling good today. Let's go to the gym. Let's do the meal prep. Let's get my steps done. Let's clean the house. Let's record the video. Let's post on social media, whatever your goals and aspirations are. Like there are days where all that stuff is easy. You know, that's when the motivation is high and the motivation bucket is full. And then there's days where all of those things feel like it takes everything out of us just to show up and do it. Where recording the piece of content and posting it feels like the last thing you want to do. Where going to the gym and doing your workout and getting your steps done and doing your cardio, going for that run, prepping the food, it's the last thing you want to do. And that's the days when your motivation bucket is damn near empty, you know? So on those days, I think that's when this can really, really help, is when you're like, wow, I don't want to go to the gym today. But then you think about the fact that your op got their workout done. I don't know. This has been powerful for me. I have already gotten some feedback like on my Instagram from people messaging me like, wow, this helped me get my shit done today. So that's why I wanted to talk about this. And the thing is, I don't think you actually even have to have a person that you're thinking of, because you know what? Sometimes our biggest op is ourselves. And that's so real. Our biggest doubter can sometimes be ourselves. So maybe you need to personify that piece of you as someone else. I don't care. Come up with a name for them. Call her like Rebecca, or I don't know, call her Chelsea, call her whatever. Personify that piece of you that doubts your abilities, that piece of you that convinces you to not do what you know you should be doing. And that brings me also to my next point, is that even though we know better, we do not always do better. And I don't know what the psychology is behind that. I can guarantee that research has been done on this, because it's like, if we know which healthy foods to eat, if we know that working out and lifting weights and doing cardio is good for us, and we know that that's going to help increase our lifespan and our longevity, if we know that reading at night instead of scrolling on our phone is better for our brains and to help us unwind, to have a good night of sleep, if we know all these things, why do we not always do better? If we know better, why do we not always do better? I don't know why. I'm not here to like educate you guys on that. Sorry. That's actually something I a big reason too why I want to do this is because I think throughout my years of social media, and just the story of my life has been the fact that my value is in what I know. My value is in my education and in my brain and like what I can help like educate others on. Like if you have been following me for years now, like, you know, especially with fitness content, like I have always been like, let's educate, like let's teach people how to do this. Let's educate, you know. That has been my kind of lane. And it turned into over time feeling like I didn't have value outside of that, and feeling like I have nothing else to offer if it's not like a piece of education. You know what I'm saying? I started to feel like just a human Google, like, and of course that is a strategy to just even like to grow on social media in general. It is to create content around things that people are searching, right? So for example, creating a piece of content around like the best exercises to grow your glutes. If you create content around that, like that's something that people are searching for. So the idea is then that like it's good for SEO, search engine optimization, and then your piece of content should perform well and yada, yada, yada. I don't know what it is. I don't want to be human in Google. I want to create an online presence and a platform that people value me, like for me, just like for my personality. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not trying to get too deep right now, but anyways, back to what I'm saying about like, I'm not sure why when we know better, we don't always do better. And this is even coming from someone like I've been a health and fitness coach. I got my personal training certification in 2016. I started coaching people in 2018. And then I started full-time fitness coaching in 2020. And even someone who has all the education, who like, I know how to do this shit, you know, like I know how to eat well. I know how to work out. I know what needs to be done. And even I don't always do better. And I'm not sure why that is. So yeah, maybe I'll educate myself on that, because I am confident that there's a reason behind that. But yeah, that's where I'm at. And I think that when we know better, you think that we should do better, but we don't always. And I think part of it can even be like our own self-perception and like kind of letting ourselves off the hook. And that's why I think actually working with a coach can be really powerful and helpful for people, because then you're doing all the good things for yourself, but the accountability is like from an external source. Does that make sense? Like it's not just yourself, like it's not just self accountability, that is powerful in and of itself. But I do think that's why working with a coach, even if you know how to eat well, even if you know the types of foods that you should be eating, even if you know how to create a workout program or whatever it is, like if you know how to do these things, I believe there is still power in working with a coach, because they're the ones holding you accountable to do the things that you know you should be doing. You know what I mean? Like I literally just onboarded a new client who I have worked with in the past, and I know she knows what she should be doing. If you're watching this, hey girl, I know she knows what she should be doing, and I know she knows like how to do it, but it's simply the accountability that you get from a coach and checking in with a coach every single week to make sure you're doing it. Like it's powerful. And I think that's why like there's always going to be a need for fitness coaches, honestly. And not just fitness coach, but even like a business coach, right? Even if it's just anything else that you're trying, that you're striving towards, having an external source to check in with is always going to be valuable. And sorry, but Chat GPT is not going to replace that. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about, if you're someone who likes self-development type books, then I have been rereading The Slight Edge. I read this, I believe, like 2 or 3 years ago. And I remember this book being very powerful for me. And I used to be someone that's like, I'm going to read, all the self-help books, like kind of thinking about like checking them off as like a to-do list, like, let me read this one. Okay, done. Let me read this one. Let me read that one. But I think as I'm maturing and getting older and getting wiser, I think that it's actually valuable. Like, find a self-help book, a self-development book that you like, and return to it, reread it. You know, like this one really stuck with me. And I was like, you know what? I don't think I need like another self-development book. I think I just want to reread this one and remind myself of the ideas in here and the takeaways that were so powerful for me before, and remind myself of it. Like, honestly, the way I kind of compare it is, if anyone watching this is religious, I'm personally not a religious person. But it's kind of like the Bible, right? Like, I imagine that people will reread certain scriptures or certain parts of the Bible to remind themselves of things. So that's kind of how I view this. I'm also a big a highlighter person. You can see this green highlighter in here. And I highlight certain things that stick out to me. And that's also something I recommend if you're someone that finds that you like your brain kind of strays when you're trying to read and you can't always stay focused, then highlighting things can be really helpful to keep you engaged. I do plan to create some videos / podcast episodes, I guess, around this book. And this book is divided into 2 parts. There's a part 1 and a part 2. So I think that's how I'm going to do it. I'll do like the Slight Edge part 1 and just talk about some of the ideas and how I relate to them and whatever. It'll be sort of like a virtual book club. Obviously it's a one-way book club, but my hope is that people will engage in some dialogue with me in the comments or however, about this book, because again, I think it's really powerful. It's one I've recommended to even just a lot of my clients that I've worked with over the years. And obviously, like, I found so much value in it that I'm rereading it, you know. The last thing I just want to talk about a second is just what's currently going on in Los Angeles. So if you follow me on other platforms, you know that I'm not currently in Los Angeles, unfortunately. I won't get into like why I'm in Michigan right now. But regardless, I am in Michigan right now. I've been here since May 2024 words. And, but regardless, the fires going on in LA right now are like very close to a lot of my friends who are there. I have been just super worried and anxious this week about it. And I'm not even there. I can only imagine how the people who are being directly impacted by it right now, how they feel. You know, I'm so glad that as far as today, on January 12th, my friends have been safe. Many of them have had to evacuate. The fires are still going on. They are not fully contained at this moment. If you're listening to this or if you're watching this, please just remember to have some compassion for people. Please remember that while it is Los Angeles, it's the second largest city in our country. And sure, there's a lot of wealth there. There's a lot of celebrities who live there. But it's a massive city full of working class, normal people, just like you, just like me. People who are just trying to get by, people who work multiple jobs, people who work regular jobs. Like, Los Angeles is home to so many different walks of life. It's not just this like utopia for the rich and famous and wealthy people. So yeah, it's just been it's been a bit heartbreaking to see some posts on social media of people having absolutely no compassion, absolutely no humanity for people who are experiencing these fires and people who have been displaced. The Pacific Palisades, sure, it's a rich area, sure. But I also there are people there who are also just like, they're not celebrities. It's not like just celebrities. And here's my perspective. Even if it is celebrities, I still have some compassion for these people who are losing everything. I understand these celebrities these rich and famous wealthy people are going to have an easier job rebuilding and getting back on their feet. However, they have still lost things that are not replaceable no matter how much money you have. It's still traumatizing to see your home burnt to the ground. I don't know why I don't know how, like, some people don't understand that. It's really kind of concerning that we are to this place in the world that we don't have this compassion for people. It's scary. And that we see people in comment sections absolutely like not caring. Because when tragedies like this happen, like, I think that should bring us closer together as people and have more compassion and empathy for the people going through this, just like the hurricanes in North Carolina and in Florida last year. When that happened, I was just as sad and just as, obviously I have more connection to LA because I lived there for 5 years. And I have like a lot of people that I know and love that are there. So I think obviously this has impacted me just a bit more emotionally. But regardless, seeing devastation, that should bring out the most human aspects of us. I am just worried that for so many people, it seems that it's bringing out the worst of them. Like, they see this devastation and they're like, haha, sucks for you. Like, weird behavior. I don't want to be around anybody like that. I don't want to know anybody like that in real life. I don't want to be breathing the same air as people like that. I'm sorry. That's scary. That's really scary. So, if you're someone in LA, you're watching this, I'm sending you so much love and support. I would like to be able to help in a more concrete way. I did donate to the Los Angeles Fire Department. If anyone doesn't know, their budget was massively cut by millions of dollars. For who knows why? I don't know. That seems like the dumbest thing you could have done. Their budget was massively cut. So I did donate, monetarily to the LA Fire Department. However, what I'm finding is it seems that there is plenty of women's clothing and clothing in general. And what's really needed are like baby products, like, things like diapers and wipes and maybe formula. I don't know, things for babies, toiletries, right? So things like shampoo, conditioner, toothbrushes, anything like, I don't know, maybe toilet paper. I don't know, toiletries. And then also food, non-perishable food. So if anyone knows like a way that I could even send, via mail, send a donation, I would absolutely love to do that. I know there are also like lots of GoFundMes out there that will directly go to people that have been impacted by these fires and that have lost everything. So I will say, while there has been a lot of like terrible things I've seen online and just like heartlessness, I have also seen so many people just come together at this time and just like say, how can I help? How can I help? What can I do to help the people right now in LA who've been impacted by this? And that has been equally, if not more, beautiful, right, than the disappointing side of that coin. But so just sending so much love and strength and safety to my friends in LA. And if you're not my friend in LA, like, I'm sending all the good things your way. I really hope that they get these fires contained as soon as possible. Huge shout out to all the firefighters who are putting their lives on the line to keep people safe and to help people's homes stay standing. It's really a tragedy. And I know once I'm back in LA, which is hopefully soon, which is hopefully in the next couple months or so, I know it's going to be a lot different. And I'm a little anxious about how that's going to seem or feel to just see so much of it burnt down. I remember just on the news the other day, they were showing this Starbucks that is in the Pacific Palisades that I have been to multiple times. And I was like, I've been there. Like, it looked familiar, And then the next clip they showed was it just in flames. Like, there's this area in the Pacific Palisades that is so cute. Like, there's like this Starbucks on the corner, but then behind that, there's like this farmer's market. And then across the street, there's this like cute little shopping center area. Like, there's an Erewhon and like a Lululemon, like whatever. And just other restaurants and shops. And that whole cute little corner is gone. So it's really devastating, and my heart is with everybody in LA right now. So yeah, I don't want to like end this on like a sad note, but I think it was important to speak on that. And I'm really excited to keep this going, and I hope that this will be just truly like a way for me to connect on a different level with people out there. Like I really want to focus on building a community, which I know I've been doing that. I know I've been building a community, but I just feel like for some reason on YouTube, your community is a bit more, I don't know, personal and like maybe like dedicated. I don't know if that makes sense. But I'm just excited for what's to come this next year. I'm feeling hopeful. I'm feeling, what am I feeling? I don't know. I'm just excited. Okay. So thank you guys for being here. I hope you have a wonderful week. I will talk with you soon. Stay safe. Stay amazing. Love you.